back it up, back it up. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this.
Back it up, back it up.
Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this.
Back to the back to the back to the back to the back.
Take it back, take it back. Back it up, 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 back it up,
Back it up, back it up, back it up.
take it back, take it back. Back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this.
Back it up, back it up.
Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this.
Back to the back to the back to the back to the back.
Welcome to the XXL Nutrition HQ. XXL Nutrition is the most popular online supplement brand in Europe. Our proteins, pre-workouts, dietary supplements, and of course our sportswear is developed with the greatest possible care. We are known for providing the highest quality products and the best service. Daily, we are working with a motivated team on new developments, promotions, and quality control to serve our customers in the best possible way. XXL Nutrition is an established name in the B2B and B2C market. Therefore, we can also be found in many gyms, supplement stores, and supermarkets. Offering the highest possible quality is the foundation of our brand. Only the best ingredients and materials are used for our products. Everyone at our company has passion for health and fitness. That's why we want to provide our customers, and of course ourselves, with the best products. We prepare all orders in our own warehouse, which has the capacity to process more than 10,000 orders daily. Thank you for supporting XXL Nutrition. We are XXL, the most popular brand in sports nutrition.
And here, live at the MGM Music Hall in Boston, Massachusetts, we make some more. Welcome to the Rainbow Six Invitational 2025. Boston, are you ready to make history? Game number one begins now! It is Haas Company Academy! It's a one-team!
We can't quite see it, the punt. Oh, it did! Beautiful first!
Cyber isn't going to let him just sit on this. Oh, brilliantly played!
It seems like Furia might just have numbers, but they've lost a couple. And Philippe Watson, BDS, steal that round for Furia. He's working a triple for Dream. It's all up to Nate and Philippe Ox now. Numbers in a disadvantage for them. And Nate is on the floor.
Pressurization complete.
First map looks to be locked up to be there. Putting out the 1v1.
Unbelievable stuff from the Brazilian. It's all up to
He's
base.
been here before. He's got to step across. It's all about this 1v1. He wins it out. Rene's going for the plant. Cyber's got three. We're down towards this last 30 seconds.
King is manoeuvring here.
Shot in the back again. Shaiko is going up to him. big. Andy, let's see if the swing. They're waiting. Solotov's down. 3 days off. He's also down.
Day one of the division group stage. I am joined by my favorite duo to cast Rainbow Six Siege with, my favorite duo to cast every single game with. I'm joined with Puffle Bob. We're gonna cast some good Siege. Bob, how are we doing?
Doing pretty bad. I just looked up and realized there was a huge spider on my ceiling, but I guess that's going to be a bit of a distraction as we head into another fantastic day of Voltage. You're right, Lecky. I mean, we're here to cast some good matches, and, well, would you give us the honor of telling who's going to be playing today?
We have two teams, two fierce teams playing today. We have the team of Inside Jobless, the Portuguese team, facing off against the French team of NXT. Two very strong teams that we're going to see play hopefully some good games of Siege today. Now, Bob, why don't you just take us through what we had, an eventful map ban?
Oh, an eventful one indeed. I mean, talking about map ban side, we are going to be going into our favorite, and I mean favorite because it is absolutely fantastic to see it. The cold winter has passed us in real life, but in the pixelated game of Rainbow Six Siege, we go over to Chalet. I think that's like the new Oregon here, Lucky, and I think it's a map you can't go wrong with when you are in a best of one.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Chalet, I think, is definitely top 3 maps, right? It's kind of like Clubhouse at this rate. Everybody knows the map to some degree. Everyone is comfortable with the map. So everyone should hopefully, be having good comms, should have some half-decent setups. I hope to see, you can see a couple of FA1's top floor, definitely. But everyone knows the map very well. So should be a pretty good game of Siege to see.
Absolutely. And well, let's take a look at the teams that we're going to be having here. And then we take a look at the statistics. I mean, we're seeing besides everyone just absolutely ready to go in, pack some heat. At the same time, I mean, I'm interested. As much as these stats prove when then we have some best and worst teams, and of course, best and worst maps, definitely, I don't think those are going to be coming in handy today as we do not see Chalet being a bother for NXT.
Yeah, no, definitely. Chalet, it's going to be a comfortable map, definitely, for both teams here. But again, it's just all going to come down to, I love talking about it, first game jitters. Obviously, there is only the best of one, so it's going to be first round jitters. Who's going to be able to settle in comfortably and just kind of go with the flow, really? You don't want to get too nervous. Who's going to be able to calm the nerves? I love talking about the jitters. That's ultimately what the game kind of comes down to, right? That's how the tone of the game is kind of set. We just need to see what team can take control of that.
Absolutely. Yes, we do. And well, we go into it. I believe this is going to be starting it off. We can take a look at the predictions here. And NXT, they do have a bit more of an established roster throughout Siege history, especially be it on different leagues, be it here. But they have definitely proved that they are a strong team, a force to be reckoned with. And going up against Inside Jobless, it's a best of one. There are no second chances besides those rounds you claim. And of course, keep an eye out because the second match, this is only the first match, ladies and gentlemen. We hit you with a pretty hard one going in with the first. There's also a second one right after, and it's going to be Turks versus Panahune. But up until then, Lecky, it's time to get into Chalet.
Chalet! Oh, what a map. I am so excited to see this. I feel like I haven't seen Chalet in so long, even though it's such a common map. But here we go, going straight into the map bans. You kind of want to see something like a Valk ban. You want to see Mav, something to kind of get away from that basement site. We're going to see shields nonetheless. Montaigne, crazy good at the minute. Every single shield is so powerful. So I'm hoping that we see, maybe a Blitz ban on the side of NXT as well, because I do not want to verse a Blitz if I'm on Chalet. And there we go, the Blitz ban comes out. I don't want to see that Blitz. If I'm in basement, I don't want to see that thing running at me whatsoever.
Two shields are going to be gone. One more remains, going to be standing still, the Blackbeard. One thing that many players here on Chalet tend to be a bit more scared of. Like, I understand the Monty, I understand the Blitz. There definitely could have been also a Dokkaebi calm, maybe some Ying in the meanwhile, but it all depends on the team comp. And Common Bandit is. Kate joins along him, and for the final defender, we're going to be having none other than the Mrs. Valkyrie, the information gatherer herself, being taken off the board. I don't think Valkyrie's a bad pick at all. I think this is just one of those operators that you necessarily can't go wrong with on any map. And well, heading into round number 1, the first site will be Barn Gaming. This is where Frost thrives, but I don't think Jobless are going to be picking her up.
Yeah, Barton Gaming is not one that a lot of teams tend to start out with. You know, everyone either top floor or basement, but Barn Gaming is easily the third best on this map. It's such a comfortable site, especially, you know, if you're holding from library, top floor. You just have to make sure that you have a player in library at all times. As soon as you lose that player, you might as well have just lost the round. So you definitely want to see how Inside Jobless adapt to NXT's push on library, see if they have any players able to rotate quickly if that player in library does get taken out. But this is going to be the tone setter for this best of 1, Bob.
Yes, it will. Now, this is no CS2, this is no Valorant, so eco rounds are definitely not going to be expected, but like you said, it sets a bit of a tone. The first round to capture by any to be captured by any of these teams, of course, can continue on to a bit of a streak, and up until that happens, let's focus a bit more on the lineups here, as the defenders have had them locked in for quite a while, and Izami is one of those fear factors that definitely puts a shiver into the temperature of NXT, as they themselves have a bit of counterplay, and a lot of droning in the meanwhile. Besides the defaults, we also have the rotations and the Brava drones.
Yep, this is going to be a very information-based attack from the side of NXT. I want to see Ben on this Deimos just play super aggressively. I want to see this Deimos pistol come out and just clean headshots. The information that he needs to give to his teammates is going to be vital. Now, this Buck player here, ideally, if we can get this Buck into library, like I mentioned earlier, it might as well just be over. So as long as this Buck can get top floor and play vertically, I think NXT have a great chance here.
Alright, opening up some new opportunities. The Red Pings are going to be out. Inside Jobless, not phased by it too much, but a second step from the Swamai, and it could be dealing some trouble just rotating off. That's great information from the vertical. Deathmark going to be not succeeding, which is definitely a new interesting way of going about it. And NXT with a very fast push, but Inside Jobless, they're playing it up close and personal, and definitely not giving them an easy time.
Not an easy time at all, Bob, as we head into 1 minute 40 left on this game. We still have every single player on the board. The Deimos obviously taking a little bit of damage. Who is going to be the first to fall? We have this Lamai sitting perfectly in library entrance there. You know, he needs to stay there. If he goes down, it is over for him, but he's going to have a bunch of players from NXT rushing very, very quickly.
That's the case we tend to go down to, and well, JFK is the one to start us off. But of course, while first blood is spilled, a double's return to JFK. You lose one comrade, you give the second onto NXT's case, and all of a sudden their lives are looking closer. I mean, they seem to really split up. All this is going to be a very good pickup, but no one there to refrag it as Flexi gets away with yet another Inside Jobless in a positive position that they simply couldn't lose, and they keep on thriving off of it as Flexi with a second, and Sagrana the last one in a 1v3 situation. Has to go for the head pop, gets it onto Flexi, a return of frags, but you still have 2 to face. Maybe you can get one extra bullet onto the Ben rear and finalize the thought. But when that mute comes down to push from shove, it's going to be absolute trouble spelling it out for you.
NXT had such a promising looking attack onto that Wamai sitting in library, but they just were not able to execute. This Wamai was able to get a pick off, and even when he fell, there was a refrag that came immediately after. The Fenrir will activate, and so Grana is not going to have a lot of sight and time to work with as he is taken down by that SMG. And Inside Jobless, they easily take the first round away from NXT.
It was a bit of back and forth. We saw a kill, we saw 2 returned. All of a sudden, NXT equalized it out, but not for much longer. Inside Jobless, Like I'm talking a lot of aggression and it worked out nicely. The shutdown from NXT would have been expected, but sadly they could not pull it through. And in the end, Barn Gaming was lost. We moved to one of the, again, Chalet is one of those maps that really offers so much variety. You can go on any site and it's just going to be about as good as the other. And well, kitchen and dining is where we find comfort. Verticality going to be needed, but who doesn't love some verticality with a bit of mix of Zaps, electricity, and Clash on the way?
Oh, the Clash coming out. We did have the two shield bans with the Montaigne and the Blitz, but Clash was still left on the board, and that shield, if that is late game, if Clash is still alive late game, NXT are going to have a really difficult time getting the diffuser down, and it might as well just be over for them. Going into kitchen, like you mentioned, verticality, it is going to be key, Bob, and I don't think we have a Buck actually, so Gurana to switch off of Buck over to Dokkaebi, which is one of those operators like Valve, like you mentioned earlier, is one that can just work anywhere on any single map. So the comms are gonna be key from Gurana.
As much as I wanna question no Ram, Ashe, nor Buck Sledge, maybe even for the bare minimum of verticality, you can definitely see the choice for NXT, and they're probably going to be utilizing verticality alone to get that breach down on Fireplace. The Penguin, he has that Blackbeard on deck, and that's the biggest fear that Inside Jobless need to take care of as of current. The Maverick here being taken off early would be a huge benefit, and reaping off of it Inside Jobless would, as it's an instant push, finding it through the smokes here, finding value, just nice cover to get you into that building, and pushing forward, no stopping. The meanwhile, the Clash, not a single clue, but Flexi just gets one, not taken down. JFK does take the toll of it, and meanwhile, there's going to be that one operator that really shuts you down, but you try to peek and you find yourself dug down deep. One to your right, and the attackers don't even know it. Oh, M9G, he gets away with a double, and all of a sudden, Inside Jobless again, shutting down any attempt made by NXT.
Igwin just opened that bomb. Yeah, it's crazy for NXT. That's exactly what you were going to say, but it's still a 2 versus 1 nonetheless. There is a lot of work for this Twitch to do, but there is that Clash, like I mentioned. It's going to be an absolute nuisance. Even if this Clash does not get any damage off, there is still plenty of comms going to this Bandit. So there is still a lot of time to use, definitely, but Pixie just needs to take out the Bandit and then deal with this pesky Clash. It's not going to be an easy task whatsoever as the smokes do come out to play.
Oh, yeah, again, that cover's beautiful. Almost a headshot onto the Bandits. Almost won't quite cut it just yet. And if you find a 1v1 against the Clash, that's going to be a priority you need to take care of, as the Bandit is simply going to be a bit of a difficult task to clear of. No information, drones are going to be very limited. And up to current 55, you still have some time. Those shots coming through, one extra needed, but the drop down from none other than the Thun will be coming through. And now, what do we do, NXT? Your final player is low on HP, which is going to be possibly one of the worst case scenarios you can when going up against a Clash, as on standby all the operators are holding down their crosses. You can use that verticality as much as you want, but as long as they don't know it's getting dangerous, oh my goodness, I was already jumping for a second. Inside Jobless, they keep it safe. A missed attempt from NXT, and a 1v2 it stays, as finally committing to the action. Good pre-fires are the best you can really do in a situation like this. Maybe Lady Left is on your side, but currently it doesn't seem to be. Patience the key for Inside Jobless. Shocks all around. You can't find the time. Gonna need to force that plant down. No bait gonna be successful, as again, this Clash is such a nuisance that you simply can't ignore it. They can just stick idly by. Let the 1v1 from Masio come through. The second round for the defenders without much of a sweat.
Not much of a sweat at all. Absolutely nothing NXT could do there. As soon as that first push went just absolute shambles, Inside Jobless, they had sight locked. They had verticality with Bandit late game. They had the Clash, which we knew was going to be a nuisance, and boy, she was, because that plant was just not going down no matter what. As soon as Bandit dropped, it was over. There is no time whatsoever. And Inside Jobless, the team who only had 29% of the match predicting vote so far, they are proving everyone wrong with a 2-0 lead in this best of 1. Now, mind you, they are on defense. I do believe Charlie is quite a defender-heavy map. However, can NXT do the exact same job that Jobless have been doing when they go into defense? Only time is going to tell as we head into basement. what I think is easily the best site of Chalet, as long as you have players sitting in kitchen, you have players watching blue as well. You should be fine. This is quite an easy site to defend, and NXT, they're gonna have their work cut out for them.
5 seconds left.
Oh, we're seeing an operator that definitely brings down that extra roam potential. And speaking of the devil, JFK, he's right now on your cams, ladies and gentlemen, going out for his spawn peak. A bit of a high tide, maybe biting off more than he can chew. Sadly, doesn't get killed off it, and I imagine that this would have been a huge opportunity for an opener for NXT. As yet again, they've been having some troubles to find that extra value when it comes down to kill counts. But as of current, they stand strong. They keep their players alive. The definite lineup still aims towards that double breach. Find some focus onto the main garage, open it up and cut off rotation. Do the same on Wine Cellar, and the entirety of defense is completely locked up as long as you do a good job clearing out these players. And Sagrana, he's on the job. He found the case. Maybe they're jobless, but Sagrana, he's looking to apply for one, and he's already on a good path.
Yup, finally NXT, they're able to take the lead in terms of man count, but for how long inside Jobless? They're able to equalize immediately as Oxide is gone. That ace is not going to be able to be useful whatsoever. Luckily, NXT still have Thermite, so there is still that potential to get these walls open, but it's now limited even more. We're gonna have to use these strategically. Where are we going to open? We need to find out, because there is 1 minute 40 left, still plenty of time, but right now there doesn't seem to be much coming from the side of NXT. They're kind of just feeling inside Jobless out ever so slightly. They might be taking ever too long. I think we're looking for a push onto Blue, Bob.
This pinch on the Clash could be major, but just gets away in time. Now I'm wondering, what are we doing, Jobless? Why are we not bringing any denial of breach? We have a bit of a delay. The two Piranha have perks, but Bandit or mutes, none of that. And Sagrana, well, we speak of him. And NXT all of a sudden have made inside Jobless crumble like a cookie. As the last one, Flexi, he may be a demon, but these are some holy shots we're seeing from Sagrana as he finds the third into this round. An absolute carry. The Bucks' back must be heavy, feeling quite achy. But in the end, a play is a play, and a win is a win. The first one, that's a matter of fact, for NXT.
Yep, Sagrana able to get that opening pick, really just sealed NXT's attack. They were able to pinch all of those players just inside Wine, all the players that were looking onto Blue from Garage. They had no chance there as NXT, like you said, they pick up their first. This might be what they needed to now finally get them in this swing of things, give them the momentum that they need, and see if they can take the lead from inside Jobless in this best of one. Now, Bob, we are playing back again, I believe, in Bar. So, are we going to do the same thing that we saw before?
Well secured! Full side rotation is through. Ding, ding, ding. And we're back in Bar and Gaming. Now, what we saw earlier was absolutely catastrophical. Flexi with 2, JFK, imagine, with 2 as well. And NXT, they managed to trade those 2 for 2, which in the end, I mean, a 4-to-2 ratio, that is just not the base. So maybe NXT, we adapt, we overcome. We played against possibly one of the worst sites this map has to offer. We won it out, and simply because Jobless didn't really bring out the lineup that we had hoped for, and they played a very interesting strategy of having a smoke roam upstairs. Now, I'm not too critical. Maybe it works out in the future. But speaking of, 3 more rounds remain here, Lucky, in the first half.
Yup, NXT, they have their work cut out for them, Bob. And now it's time to not repeat history. And let's see if they can get this player in library. That looks like what they are trying to do. We do have a player setting up Mez as well. So there's easily someone from Jobless able to just rotate quickly if library is lost. The run out does actually come up from Premier as well. Not going to catch anyone as of yet, but the mute is going to fall. Pegwin able to pick up the first for NXT. That opening pick last round for NXT resulted in a rammed win. This could be the same thing as we look to take top floor and take verticality. But Ben, he's going to have his work cut out for him as he spots Womai sitting in the corner, is going to red ping as well. But there's 2 players from Jobless sitting in piano.
Mac 10 hates, finds Penguin, and well, Benton is on a hunt as he's finding the death mark value, getting Flexi in the process, and that's another one that bites the dust. inside Jobless, losing player after player in a repeat of history unless they find that double kill, which would definitely be bringing him into that valuable point. But as current NXT hold the Iron Fist, and they're looking to hold it much further, as not only have they found time, but they found the Warden, they found the Mute, the three still very strong characters stand up against them, but they're starting to feel that pressure. JFK all around, you're completely clutched out. Now either you could rotate, possibly save your life, or are we going to be going for that extra greed to maybe get a kill in the process?
Yeah, if JFK drops here, NXT, they practically have the RAM. They will have control of Library, and they will have the verticality that they need. The Buck is still alive, and that Skeleton Key will be absolutely lethal. That will help the plan from Oxy get down. As the flashes will come out, Fenrir will be taken out by Ben, and Deimos is on a roll with a double kill. Doesn't even need the death mark, but will take out N9G. Gets his triple kill, and NXT, they're looking comfortable, but JFK is not going to let that get in his way as he brings out his own double kill. The death mark is going to reveal himself to Ben, and now it just comes down to this 1v1 through the doorway. Who is going to land the shots they need? Will it be picked up from Sugrana at the side? 33 seconds left, Bob.
Oh, it's getting icky. The nade is there. JFK still keeping it live, but Ben doesn't simply allow it. NXT, that was another hero play we get to see, but as long as it carries you to victory, honestly, who cares? They get themselves fantastic quads and triples all along the board, while inside Jobless keep on falling for the same bait switch and switcheroo, and in the end, we have an equalization. Now, of course, I'd imagine Jobless here to pick up these next two rounds, at least one to have themselves a balanced out first half. If that doesn't happen, NXT are going to be reaping off, and they're going to be rubbing their hands like evil villains, just looking to capture the most off of it. Again, you're on the defense, you're cozy. It's the very first half, and both of these teams are probably just warming up to each other. The second NXT starts getting used to what Jobless are up to, this is the result we get.
Oh, we're back to the kitchen, and we're back with Clash. She is going to be a nuisance. I can tell you that. We're going to see it again. NXT are going to have to bring something to counter this clash, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case in this lineup. We're getting the same Blackbeard that we saw. We are finally getting the verticality with Buck. No, never mind. Caster's Curse still can be. She's coming back out again on this kitchen site. The Nomad as well for the air jabs. That's going to be what tries to counter Clash. If this Nomad falls early, this Clash is going to be a nuisance.
We saw how big of a rough time NXT had in the previous sessions and rounds against the Clash. And Mac10 hates, he doesn't just hate the Mac10, he hates absolute NXT in full. Now, bringing out a counter shield, hopefully Penguin does end up surviving out with his Blackbeard, because again, that is definitely one way to push through and really go in raw, with which NXT have been definitely proving to be quite nice in the past few rounds. They go in, they get the kill, it's as simple as that, and then they interlink it to another until they won. Now, looking to get it, the Clash comes outside, revealing the position. Now, maybe even trying to have a bit of a bait, but I don't think NXT are going to be falling for it just so easily.
The fireplace looks to be where some of NXT are trying to push through, as well as Balcony. Penguin is there. Is he going to pick off anyone as he joins Kixie into Mez? No idea as of yet, but we are going to see this wall get open, and that's going to allow these players to run into office freely and not be challenged unless Jobless have something to say about it. No, he won't. The Bandit will be taken out by Kixie. There's that first pick that we needed for NXT, but there's so many players from Jobless sitting in piano. There's even that Clash with a nuisance in office, but Demon is going to fall. Ben will pick up another as well. NXT, they have found the swing of things. They've found their mojo. It's a 5 versus 1. Mac is stuck outside. He's rushed by this Blackbeard. A flawless run for NXT. And this is looking like they finally are going to get the hang of things.
They've solidified the structure down to the very foundation and have found a route inside Jobless, a way for them to be absolutely taken out, and they've been carrying on 3 rounds in a row is no small task. Neither is it an hour the attack, and with how the track record of the first 2 rounds has been, so NXT, they get this 4-2. Defense is going to be quite swift, if I do say so myself, and the aggression from Jobless, honestly, I would say it's a bit undeserving. They should not be pushing, peeking, and going for these random kills. Yes, it's high risk, high reward. Don't get me wrong. Picking up a kill off of NXT in the very early part of the game has definitely worked out for 2 rounds. What about the past 3? It's been causing some issues, and play safely, play to the advantage of the building. You're not using the correct characters on the correct site. So as of current, let's see a bit more of not only chemistry, but at the same time, just run it down to the books. The casual strategy that everyone uses on Chalet. Stick to it.
Stick with what works, Bob. I mean, if they are going to go high risk, they might as well just try and get spawn peek, because that is going to be the safest way for you to, you know, get that man advantage. You're still inside. You have plenty to work with. JFK is actually going to take a little leaf from my book. He's not going to be successful as of yet, though, as he looks to find a player that's looking to approach library. Not going to be the case, but M9G also wants a spawn peek. Inside Jobless, we're getting a really aggressive start from them in terms of spawn peeks. It's just, are these spawn peeks going to be successful as we look to see if any player wants to push into Fireplace? It's not going to be the case. And NXT, they're just feeling out Jobless. They're trying to see where everyone's at, use the drones, get information before making silly decisions. Penguin able to just get that shield over his toes. He's not going to die just yet. HP will be lost, however, and he will also now have to rotate out.
Well, never thought I would see a 4 to 5 man spawn peek, but Inside Jobless doing a first time for everything, as NXT haven't fallen bait to it. They have dropped a bit of blood, a tear now and then, but that doesn't seem to be more than a slap on the wrist, as now trying to approach Piano, not much of a fear factor. Again, no toxins, the zombies are going to be the best that the defense has, with nades coming out, Roteros as well. You try to rebuild what you've lost, but as of current, your utility is starting to run on a bit of a budget. The defense is starting to struggle. Again, the drones can't necessarily be too shut down. And if we go for this run out, what are we thinking, M9G? Is it going to be worth it, or will you find yourself in the grave?
Yeah, at this point, the runouts, they're not going to be worth it when you know that this player's trying to push Piano. That is going to be where you need to focus at the minute. This Blackbeard is giving so many pings, giving so much communication to the rest of NXT. You need to stop that Blackbeard. You need to stop the comms, but that's not going to be the case, as Kicksty is going to kick us off as well. Bloodbath immediately. M9G able to return 2 of his own. It's an equal field at the minute, 3 versus 3 with less than a minute to go on the clock. But remember, we're not playing upstairs. The site is kitchen, so these players are going to have to work downstairs, and Matt is going to be able to take out Kexley. And finally, Inside Jobless, they have the lead in terms of man advantage. Can they finally claw back to an equal series? 33 seconds left as Oxy looks to equalize once again. NXT, they want that 4-2 half, and they want it bad, but not if Mac has anything to say about it. I see he gets the kill onto Oxy, and that's going to secure the round for Inside Jobless, and it's an equal series, Bob.
Oh, so many decisions and so many questions. We saw a player of the Azami, one fair and square kill, the other one while blindsided, and Flash dropping down a hatch. Absolute fashion. We can give credit there, but in the end, the fact that 2 players of Inside Jobless were completely spread apart. But NXT followed the same route. You had the Twitch. You knew one of the Legion players was on bottom west, and instead of helping up your teammate to get a 2v1 scenario and take over site, you decided to take a 1v1 initiation right below it and lose it out anyways. It definitely isn't the best track, but it is a path for both of these teams, as now we have an even split. 3-3, not looking bad at all. Quite decent if I say so myself. But as of current, looking onto the defense, NXT, maybe you're going to be having as good of a performance as you did on attack, or just maybe, since they're feeling a bit more cozy with a blanket on top, that being this entire building, they could definitely still win it within regulation. Same goes for Jobless.
Yup, equal playing fields. Honestly, it just depends on how NXT go on defense. And they've opted to start basement, which arguably is probably your safest bet. On Shadley, they've not brought a bandit. Instead, they are going to opt for that mute to act as the bandit instead, which I honestly prefer. It can do so much more, get rid of so much more. You know, if this Thermite tries to place on the wall, it's not going to happen. So, How are Jobless going to deal with this mute? That's the main question, because we do need to open walls. We need to get verticality as well. And that's what JFK is going to hopefully look to do in, I believe, Fireplace. That should be where he plays, but only time will tell as we head into the first round of defense for NXT.
This opening kill for many of these teams has been a caveat, and at the same time tends to be a bit of a kill leader for the opposition, as they tend to work off of the greed that starts boosting the second there's some sort of value off of one, trying to get the second, and well, that doesn't always tend to work out. But as of current, Jobless and NXT both alive, all players healthy, not a single piece of damage to be delivered, and I think that's about to change in just about any second, as Ben earlier with the death mark onto the Deimos switched over to the Goyo now with the pea shooter in hand, and this Spectre is probably one of the most promising guns you can find yourself with in 1v1 scenarios. Now, can he get them is another question, and for another time. As of current though, Penguin falls, not just out yet, maybe there is a finish, and Sograna gets JFK in the process here, Ram being gotten rid of, and what a shot we get to see as one of the players chasing one down. But you need to be wary of Ben just roaming around topside, as you haven't even cleared roam, and everyone is just absolutely being taken off while you're trying to win 1v1s. It's just not worth it.
The 1v1s are so high risk, high reward, and unfortunately for Jobless, it's not gone in their favors. NXT, all they have to do now is sit basement. They don't have to go and play aggressive. They don't need that opening pick. They have to already. The Ram verticality is now gone. There is, I believe, a little bit of Fireplace open, so the player can get to there. That is going to be beneficial for Jobless at this time. Blackbeard can be absolutely menacing for the comms, but there's still 5 players on the side of NXT, and there's only 50 seconds left. There's not an awful lot you can do apart from just push here. There's no time whatsoever, and it looks like the grenades are gonna come out from Fireplace. The verticality is gonna be used to their advantage, but not going to find anyone as we head into 30 seconds. There's 5 players left from NXT. It's going to be an absolute bloodbath in the next 10-15 seconds or so. Thermite looks to open the hatch to get a little bit more visibility on the players below. Blackbeard pushing down into blue. He knows that there's players there. There's not an awful lot he can do. He just has to spray and pray, and he's going to pick off one, but it's not going to be enough. It's 10 seconds left. We need a miracle, but for Sograna, he's going to put that miracle in the bed. Blackbeard can't push blue. There's far too many people. The double kill comes out, triple, but there's no time, Bob, and that round is going to go straight to NXT. They take their first round on defense.
Well, I mean, there's definitely a lot of things going on here, but NXT are the only ones playing by the book. Again, inside Jobless, they spread apart. They go for verticality above, trying to roam clear without drones, and just simply pushing in, watching the main site instead of trying to clear out bar, trying to clear out gaming, trying to clear out what mostly matters, and that's the entire building. It's not like the enemies are running a vigil or a solos. You can pre-place drones, you can get a lock onto certain players, and push them out one by one. As a team, not alone. Again, NXT are much more than comfortable in their guns, in their sights and lines of them, as they just keep on finding these guns, and meanwhile, the fights always go into their direction. But now NXT, that's the first one on defense, looking to capture second one on bar and gaming. Let's see how this one will turn out.
Yep, bar and gaming, it's just literally like I keep saying, you need a player sitting library. It's just, like you said, play by the books. That is the books for this site. We need NXT playing library, and Jobless, they need to take that. They need to be able to take library, take mez, play with verticality, and just gonna go all guns blazing. You know, NXT have had really aggressive attacks, and we've seen them go for really aggressive defending first picks. Are they going to do that again? I wouldn't really necessarily say so. Maybe a couple spawn peaks as we look to see Kixie get a few at the start of the game, but NXT, you're playing bar and gaming. There is no need for you to be aggressive here. This site is so easy to fall back to. You have so many hatches that you can just drop, and you can just defend from so many safe spots. There's no need to play aggressive, but inside Jobless, they're bringing the Dokby that we saw. They're bringing Blackbeard. Blackbeard has worked out for them. Maybe not every single time, but has worked out. Good for you. JFK able to take the first pick. The Flash is not going to make it through the window. We all have moments like that where We're a little bit, you know, goofy now and then, but we make our way inside of second floor nonetheless. And Jobless, they look to be progressing onto Library.
A strike to start us off, a decisive one as you take out the reigning player of NXT, that being none other than the man, the myth, the legend, Sugrana, the Belushi as well. Gadgets may be down, but Gun is too, and well inside Jobless, that's a great start. But can we continue off of it? The Izami taking heavy burdens onto their shoulder, damage being dropped, and Ben one bullet away from certain death, as now looking to continue off of it. Does run across the field, trying to capture some essence off of this Blackbeard shield being dropped. Now the nades there are working their wonder, with the Ramai set there for a sole purpose, just to protect that shield, and so it does. And now all booms going up. You peek to the right, someone's on your left, and Siege timing at its finest, or its people. Somehow Oxy gets away with his life intact, and the entirety of Verticality has been pushed down to sight, and NXT now having to shell down in it.
Yup. Inside Jobless, they have a lot of map control at the minute. How do they use that? This Blackbeard has just been an absolute nuisance, and so many players from NXT, two of them, they're on so little HP that they might as well just not be there. They might as well just be down. It might as well be a 2 versus 5 at this point. And inside Jobless, they're positioned perfectly. Mac outside as well gets a little bit of HP off of Kexi, and the only player full health will be Pigwin. The smokes are still going to be in play, and that could be what potentially stops inside Jobless from a very aggressive rush, which they have set up beautifully for, as they are above. They're looking to drop any minute now to get this plant down, or just to immediately wipe out all these 4 players. But Kixie has something to say about it. The Blackbeard on blue stairs. Oxy's so little HP, he just has to find a little bit of Blackbeard to shoot at. He finds him once, he finds him twice. Blackbeard will fall, but there's only 11 seconds left, Bob, and everything is just an absolute bloodbath at the minute. NXT, they lose one. 2 versus 1. It's a Jobless. They need to get the plant down, or they need to get the peg, and Mac, with the flick of his life, that was so unbelievably unexpected. Get the job done.
What are we feeding the players, Jobless? That was definitely a flick of a lifetime, like you call it. I mean, just one simple shot reaction alone, call it the flow stage, and a 4-4, an equalization again, as it shows the rivalry that both of these teams have to hand out to us, and it's an absolute blast. It's a bloodbath, as per said. A bit of Armageddon never hurts, but it's still very scary that NXT almost got away with it. 1 kill onto the player, and in the meanwhile, so many low HP. Of course, the headshots do matter, but a single bullet to the body is all the Jobless needed to achieve for 2 of these players essentially to be absolutely belittled. And well, Jobless, they almost lost in that scenario. The Blackbeard, I don't know what the purpose of it was. As a Blackbeard, you have the shield. Push. Use that close range advantage with your shield. If you get knocked back, there's definitely some maneuver that you can pull out to get away with it for one time. It's the issue that there was just not that aggression kicking in, and inside Jobless, in a moment of critical error, just started rushing into sight, falling one after another, while NXT taking them on the fly, but sadly, the man disadvantage just couldn't keep up.
Yep, well, Bob, we're back to Kitchen. Can NXT hold off inside Jobless? It's an equal series, 4-4. NXT looking to get a spawn peak, looking to get that early man advantage, and Pigwin might find it, but instead no, JFK, he's ready, and what should not have happened. Now inside Jobless, they have the man advantage. They didn't even have to do anything for it. He's still full HP, and that's going to put them in the swing of things. They're going to be confident going into Kitchen. They have all their men up, they have all their utility, they're droning to get that information. NXT is going to have to work a little bit harder to make up for that loss.
Yes, they will, and they've been proving to be giving inside Jobless a bit of a struggle up until now, especially in the first half and the first round to follow with it. But Jobless now with one of a return. Can they repeat the same action and finalize it with a 7-4? Well, that's only a matter of flawless rounds from now on. And right now, JFK might just be falling into Sagrana's trap as he's waiting for the sledgehammer to hit, but just doesn't catch the moment. It's unfortunate. You get a drone out of it. That's at least the bare minimum you can get. But as the current Sledge is sledging away, as he tends to, dropping down, not trying to risk it, as one player was already given for the side of inside Jobless, they don't want to lose one in return.
Yep, they want to keep their man advantage, and that so far seems to be working well for them. The drones are still out. All the information will be coming through. And Inside Jobless now, they're just waiting for NXT to make a mistake. They're looking for NXT to get aggressive, and we have seen that. NXT, they have not sat on site when they've needed to, but Kixie is going to kick us off quite literally with a 2K double kill. Now NXT, they're looking like they're in the swing of things, but the shield, Blackbeard looking to be aggressive coming from Mez, then has to hide behind the Kiba barriers in Piano. There's not an awful lot he can do here. The phone call came out from Dokkaebi. Everything is just coming out for the side of Jobless right now, but NXT are holding on beautifully. They still have the man advantage, so they shouldn't really have much to worry about at the moment, except from this Blackbeard.
There's definitely been situations where a double kill tends to be the change of fate for both of these teams, but as of current, it is going to be NXT that give the medicine back over to Inside Jobless as more damage to be delivered, a small amount, but the Blackbeard falls, and even Aleem on the game, and the double is returned to Jobless now, looking to EQ it out. Time is running low, and NXT can play onto it, but will they hold on? Well, we're going to have to see. The diffuser saw the third mic, he's looking to push down, right behind this Dokkaebi, looking to cover him all nice, but just easy it won't be. The Maestro cameras here, a bit of a nuisance. Verticality going to be out and limiting it down to these final moments, pushing up to the hard wall. Little do they know, there's still some play to be included. Kixie comes out with it, and little to no time as he finishes the job, and NXT went out on round number 9.
Kixie, I believe that was the 4K, right? I don't think that was the ace, but what a game, what a round from him. As Inside Jobless, they weren't able to do anything there. They had, so many walls open. They had things available to them, but ultimately it just came down to time. And it came down to that verticality from Office above. That's what won NXT that round there. Inside Jobless could not do anything against that. They had the plant just hinged. There was no way that they were getting that plant down no matter what.
No, sadly not. They stalled a bit too much. They did not secure all their angles. It was an A for effort, to say the least. As Inside Jobless, again, that double kill, we were served with more than just spices and sugar. We were served with absolute cinema. Now, NXT are one round above. They get this round, and it's match point for them. That is a huge prestige if you do capture with it, but riding the wave they have been for many times. And again, I wouldn't be surprised if NXT do get the match point first. It's only a matter of question and due diligence. Can they really finish it off this time around?
Well, we're gonna hope so. It's been like a little bit of a ping pong match, right? NXT, they've won one. Inside Jobless, they've won one back. It's been really equal this entire time. For a prediction that was so heavily in the favor of NXT, I believe it was something like, 70%, 71% in the favor of NXT? Yeah, I mean, Inside Jobless, they are doing absolutely crazy at the minute for their prediction rate. So, NXT, you need to I know you have the lead, but you need to be doing more with it. They are pushing a little bit too aggressively on defense. They are not sitting and just holding angles, which I know people like to say, that's cringe, right? But that's what wins you games on defense. Yeah. If you have that one-man pick that you get very early on, please sit on site and just hold angles, because Inside Jobless, they can't really do anything to get rid of that. They need to come and just give you that 1v1. They need to isolate picks, but they're not going to have an easy time.
No, they won't. They will not have an easy time. And I'm ashamed to say, but I feel like NXT, they get very aggressive at the early point. They lose a player, and only then they learn their lesson that maybe we shouldn't be throwing bodies. And either it's that, or they're so confident that they know they'll get a double kill back onto it anyways and win out the round with it, just so they do it for the sake of fun of it. But as of current, they're on the top. Again, this is the second round. The blueprint has been made, and you have set your bed, because both these teams are now standing extremely close to winning it within regulation. And again, it's just coming down to these very tight and important rounds. Every round up until has been finally important, if I can say so the least. But these ones matter the most, because it's what allows you to take it home in a best of one such as this. And while Polaris have rejoined, we are just going to make sure everything is good. And again, Chalet has been turning out what I'd imagine it to be. It has been quite an equal fight. Like you said, there's been a lot of back and forth, a match of tennis, a match of ping pong, whatever you would call it. It just balls after balls and ballsy plays we've seen. I hope to see more of them, Lucky, as I believe we're going to be heading in just a moment.
Yeah, like you mentioned, right? NXT, they have just been hoping that the players can get these double kills. And whilst it is great to have players on your roster that can get these double kills and triple kills, you don't want to have to rely on that. And we have seen that a bit too many times. It's been a bit too comfortable for them. They've relied on these insane plays, which it's fine, it's working, but eventually your luck's going to run out, right? Eventually, inside Jobless, they are going to be able to capitalize and just isolate fights. They're going to be able to pick you off one by one. If you keep playing aggressive, if you keep relying on these double kills, they're going to be able to pick you off and get us back to an equal game as we head to basement, the best site on Charlie. Let's see what NXT do with this.
Let's see what they do with it, and let's see what Jobless are going to be putting up as an effort, as I'm seeing two operators here, Lucky, that are absolutely nasty work. Besides the Blackbeard, we've seen him. Two of these we haven't yet. It's a bit of a new addition, some nuance never hurts, and Jobless hopefully won't be too much of a blunder from you, because only way for them to come in through very usefully is when the execute comes around. And I can imagine this main breach is going to be the major staple, or rather the pillar of the strategy for inside Jobless.
Nope, I'm expecting this Glaz to sit comfortably and watch Garage Wall, get the smoke down, get the plant immediately, and then just watch. And the Blackbeard to top it off as well. If this Garage Wall opens, this could be a really aggressive quick plant from Jobless as we see the Thermite approach the wall, get it open, and NXT, they aren't going to challenge it whatsoever. The wall's going to open, and now inside Jobless, that is step one of their plan complete. They just need to get the plant down. They need to get the smokes in, and the Glaz is just going to sit comfortably.
I believe that Jobless, seeing the Goyo canisters go off, put some fire into the game, and now waiting for the extinguish to come through. The Glaz from backside holding down Wine will be a great effort of holding down everything, and Flexi taking out the Kiba, Sagrada alongside it, people still rotating like they don't care, and the Incandelas. This is the major operator, the execution, where it comes in the most handiest. If you can combine it with some smokes, which you sadly don't have, well, the Thermite thankfully does, as now just simply entering, going for that frag. No counter to it either. We may have a C4, but that's the best you can work with as a point time's ticking. And come on, get to planting. There's simply not going to be enough. If you just stand outside and wait for the opportunity in the smokes to relinquish, Pookie bombs are going to be there, damaging a bit more. Flexi taking out another, and Oxy in the process with a prior one as two fall for one, and a 2-to-1 deal for M9G as simply one more stands. Ben, again, we have seen him be the potentially mechanically gifted player that has delivered some final blows, but this time around, you're simply outnumbered, and Jobless will bring it 5-5.
Weren't able to get that plan off, which I thought was their only plan. It took a little bit too long to even get into sight from Garage, right? But that didn't matter because they had players come down from blue and just absolutely catch NXT off guard. It's an equal game once again as we head to Master Bedroom and Office, the second best site of Chalet, and NXT. They have a really difficult task ahead of them, right? We know that they can play defense. We know they can play attack as well. They played that beautifully. But they're just not aware of their surroundings. And when they are eventually trying to be aware of their surroundings, when they're eventually pushing out and getting more map control, they're immediately picked off by inside Jobless. It's almost just, it's absolute masterclass from Jobless. It's just amazing, really. They're able to isolate the fights with NXT, take them off guard, and that's why we're at an equal game once again. But having a look at the lineup, Bob, give us a little bit of a insight into it.
I mean, which lineup do we start with here? Because Jobless, they're going for the Glaz Blackbeard combination yet again, the dynamic trio between the three that creates a space of unapproachability without being in the use of a Warden, a forced C4, or a direct counter, be it a Warden as mentioned, be it a Chanka, or maybe even a bit of smoke every now and then. NXT in the meanwhile, they're looking to play off of verticals mostly, I assume. A lot of traps this time around as we have the Legion Frost Fenrir combined. the castle because, again, it's a staple of this site and map. Oh, and the last one, the Solus. Again, one that we haven't seen yet, but could prove quite useful.
Yep, all the traps coming out to play for NXT and inside Jobless. They are going to have to watch their feet. They're going to have to watch where they step. They don't want to fall into the frost mat. They don't want to get into the Elysian Mine as well. Give that audio cue to NXT that they are there. But they do have the Glass, who is going to sit and watch double window. If they can be successful in this plan, Pixie, they're going to have a really hard task ahead of them, as there was almost a little run out from Pigwin there. He's going to jump out the window once again. He is going to find one, and NXT, they're off to a brilliant start, Bob. It's a 2 versus 4. N9G able to find one of his own, and JFK able to counter as well. But Oxy picks his second kill up of Ram number 11. JFK, he's been forced downstairs. He's forced to play verticality, and it's honestly not a good situation for him here. He's absolutely just pinched between all these NXT players. They have free roam of sight. I imagine they'll eventually pick up Diffuser. They will get it down, but oh my Bob.
Oh my Bob. Is that the new way of saying oh my god? I am absolutely
oh my god, yes.
Oh wow. Oh my Bob. That sticks well. And well, I guess that's a good sentence to put it off. Oh my goodness. What did we just witness? I mean, NXT pulled off and stepped up to the task that Inside Jobless could not complete in the end. They went for a basic full team wipe through runouts alone, one after another. Inside Jobless did get that 2K, which almost put them back in a fighting chance, but they lost it quickly thanks to a bit of a cheeky peeky coming on through Solarium, getting that one window kill, and now the Diffuser dropped. 3 very hungry wolves peeking you down. The Hounds bite down, and Pigwing with a very nasty angle just to catch you off guard. Vaulting out, not the best case. And NXT now, this round is theirs. And Lecky, we're going to be walking home a bit quicker than overtime.
Yeah, maybe if NXT keep up what they're doing, an absolute masterclass from them there. Inside Jobless, they were not able to execute what they wanted to. They had the Glass. All they needed was the plant, and that would have been perfect for them, but they were not able to get even close to sight. You know, they weren't able to push Piano. They weren't able to push Solarium. Just got picked off at every single corner, and NXT, they're one ram closer to taking this best of one home, and it has been an absolute incredible showing from both teams. But Inside Jobless, they're not out just yet. We still have chance for overtime as we head to Baron Gaming once again. Bob, talk us through the lineups once more.
Once more we go, and once more we see the Ying. Inside Jobless has been using it a bit less than we should be seeing from the attacking side. Again, the Ying, probably the strongest execute operator we've yet to see. Now, of course, with the combination with the Capital will be absolutely humongous. And honestly, I hope to see it a bit more. I hope to see the Candelas go off. I hope to see the smokes lay down on the ground like the fire and the flames. And in the end, Inside Jobless push in full force, not just stand around. It did work out for them semi last time. I don't think that's going to be happening for a second, as NXT now have Penguin, which is going to be none other than that beautiful smug just to shut down any type of entry. It might not be strong as the fuel brought on and lit by the go canisters, but still packs up quite a punch.
Yup, it's match point, Bob. NXT, all you need is that opening pick, and realistically, you should have this. You should be walking home victorious in this best of one, and it looks like NXT might be on to that opening pick as JFK is going to take a little bit of damage. He's not out yet. He is still up for the time being, as Inside Jobless, they look to push into Library, but they will have to take out Kixie, who's going to sit and hold this double window for as long as he can, because they need Library, right? They absolutely need it. Mac is going to fall directly into his hand if he does not clear out Kixie immediately. But JFK, although he took a little bit of damage at the start, he will take the life of Ben. That is just gonna be absolutely horrible for NXT, as they're able to equalize nonetheless. Like I said, Kixie able to take out Mac. He did not clear the Wamai in the corner, and Library still remains in the hands of NXT.
Ooh, we were looking at slim chances here for NXT, but they put it back onto Shady Business. As Inside Jobless now have one return, a taste of their own medicine, looking to forcefully push through library side, which may tend to work depending on how well the timing goes through. Keeping this warden alive is going to be a major aspect of your lineup here, as again, we still have those smokes on it. The Ying was removed for the Brava, which is going to be an interesting addition just to get rid of those Malusi Wub-Wubs, which of course no one likes to step in. Currently, the attackers are holding still, sitting ducks. We need to move, and NXT are still holding us at bay, but not for much longer. Flexi puts out a ward, it flies high, and Oxy D flies low as he's taken out at the first. A second decisive, also Grana falls just right after, but Kexi still managing to fight off for it. Penguin with a shotgun, 12 gauge to your face, and NXT are looking to finish it out in old-fashioned within regulation. JFK, they know about your whereabouts. You're trying to take these long-range gunfights against an SMG-11, but simply, it's not the comfortability that you need. You need this information that's being received upon you. And Penguin with the final shot. The SMG-11, the beautiful head pop, the balloon it goes. NXT 7-5, the final chance within regulation, and they take it.
What an absolute game that we have seen on Chalet, Bob. Oh, NXT, they narrowly take that win. We thought it was going to be a little bit of a landslide with how the predictions went, but Inside Jobless, they were able to bring us to equal footing multiple times. It was ping pong, like you said. It was absolutely just table tennis back and forth. Who was going to win that? We had no idea, but in the end, NXT, they're able to just get the win narrowly over Inside Jobless. And what a game of Chalet we saw, Bob.
What a game indeed. Hands up, absolute cinema, ladies and gentlemen. This was, like you did it. I mean, we have to follow along. That was Chalet in its finest fashion. In the end, it was close. We saw some rivalries. We saw some hero plays. We did not see an A's, but a 4K was just about as good. And in the end, an absolute fight to the death. An Armageddon to finish us off. I mean, that is just Siege. At its peak, we get to see, again, some changes, maybe some adaptations for the later rounds of the group stages for both of these teams. There were mistakes, but there were also some good points, which hopefully they'll talk over through. But I mean, Lecky, that's it for this match. And I believe there's going to be a second one right after.
Yep, a second match right after. Bob, it's been great to have you on the cast. Absolutely love casting with you. But we're going to say goodbye to you in this second game. So thank you for joining us. And there is one more best of one heading your way. We're going to see a Finnish team take on a Turkish team next. So stick around to see that.
have went blind tonight. Cause I swear that you out of sight. Man, I'm so up, I could be a pilot. And I just hope you're trying to catch a flight. So let me get the digits. I call right now if you're with it. I seen 1,000 pretty girls in this room. $1 and I've been looking for you. I've been searching, it's so hard to find a girl who's one of a kind. 'Cause being alone just isn't cool. I'll take 1,000 trips around the world just so I could find you, girl. 'Cause darling, I've been looking for you. Yeah, I'm looking for you. For you. I'm looking for you. For you. Let's get it now. I'm so up, I could be a pilot. Be a pilot, be a pilot. I'm so up, I could be a pilot. Beat. Let's get it now.
back it up, back it up. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this.
Back it up, back it up.
Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this.
Back to the back to the back to the back to the back.
Take it back, take it back. Back it up, 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 back it up,
Back it up, back it up, back it up.
take it back, take it back. Back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this.
Back it up, back it up.
Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this.
Back to the back to the back to the back to the back.
Welcome to the XXL Nutrition HQ. XXL Nutrition is the most popular online supplement brand in Europe. Our proteins, pre-workouts, dietary supplements, and of course our sportswear is developed with the greatest possible care. We are known for providing the highest quality products and the best service. Daily, we are working with a motivated team on new developments, promotions, and quality control to serve our customers in the best possible way. XXL Nutrition is an established name in the B2B and B2C market. Therefore, we can also be found in many gyms, supplement stores, and supermarkets. Offering the highest possible quality is the foundation of our brand. Only the best ingredients and materials are used for our products. Everyone at our company has passion for health and fitness. That's why we want to provide our customers, and of course ourselves, with the best products. We prepare all orders in our own warehouse, which has the capacity to process more than 10,000 orders daily. Thank you for supporting XXL Nutrition. We are XXL, the most popular brand in sports nutrition.
And here, live at the MGM Music Hall in Boston, Massachusetts, we make some more. Welcome to the Rainbow Six Invitational 2025.
Boston, are you ready to make history? Game number 1 begins now!
It is Hasa Company Academy! It's a one-team!
We can't quite see it, the punt's going down. Beautiful
Cyber isn't going to let him just sit on this. Brilliantly played. It seems like Furia might just have numbers, but they've lost a couple. And Philippe Foxy, BDS steal that round for Furia. He's working a triple for Dream. It's all up to Nate and Philippe Fox now. Numbers in a disadvantage for them. And Nate is on the floor.
Pressurization complete.
First map looks to be locked up to be there. Putting out the 1v1.
Unbelievable stuff from the Brazilian. It's all up to
He's been here before. He's got to step across. It's all about this 1 versus 1. He wins it out. Rene's going for the plant. Simon's got 3. We're down towards this last 30 seconds.
Picking his manoeuvre in here.
Shot in the back again. Shaiko is going up to him. big.
Andy, let's see if the swing.
The waiting. Solotov's down. 3 days off. He's also down.
Hello, welcome back to day number 1 of the division groups. We have just seen a really close game on Chalet between Inside Jobless and NXT, where NXT were able to just narrowly take the victory by 2 rounds. We did have Puffle Bob on the cast, but now we're joined by Star Drago. How are we doing, buddy?
I'm doing fantastically. Just ran 20 miles, decided, you know what? I can do a stream today. Today, we've got a really interesting one. We have, I'm not going to pronounce it without butchering it, so I'm going to call it Panayu versus Turks LFO. These are 2 fantastic teams, so this should be really interesting. I'm excited to see how it goes because we have Panayu starting on defense, then we're going right into clubhouse, and then we've got Turks starting on attack, which is a wee bit weird for them because they're known as a hostile, aggressive team. So let's see what the EU can bring.
Yeah, we are going to another map that everyone knows. We had Chalet and now we're back to Club. It's one of those maps, right, that everyone has a little bit of knowledge on. It's comfortable for most teams.
Gotta say, with how I play Clubhouse, probably not. I bring my thermite, I bring a wall, and then I just attack. I go for gun kills, everything else. How would you play this map?
Honestly, it's all just about, like, if I'm attacking it, right, it's all just about positioning. I love to just try and get into, like, construction. As long as you have that, I think you're pretty much sorted for top floor.
All right, we'll see. Because at the moment, I have a feeling that these guys are going to surprise us. A team full of Finnish players versus a team full of Turkish players. You can either call this a World Cup match if you wanted, but we're going to hopefully go straight into it soon. And then we're going to see who's the better, the Finns or the Turks. That sounds really bad, but you know I'm right. This is going to be very interesting to play. So, any players that you specifically want to see win today?
Honestly, I have no bias whatsoever. I have no idea who is going to come out on top of this. I have seen a little bit of Turks before, I believe. So maybe I'd like to see them just a little bit, like that much, take the victory. But again, I have no bias. I just love Clubhouse. It's honestly one of like the best maps in the game, in my opinion. It's a classic. Everyone knows it, and we're gonna head into it pretty soon.
I believe we're just waiting on the Observer to be his genius self and start it off. Thank you, Erebos. But for me, I'm hoping to see. I can't remember his name's the Big Bad Wolf, but I believe it's Bidulf. It's Bidulf, yeah. So I'm hoping to see him just dominate as the captain today. He's one of my favorite players that I've watched a little bit during the Challenger League. I'm sorry that what happened to him before, but there's no slash situation this time. So we're going to get right into it. We're starting now. Let's begin.
Yep, we're going to be starting pretty soon, almost right now. Clubhouse, though, what's your opinions on this map, right? Because I think it's such a comfortable map. Do you think it's one that maybe either of these teams have more of an advantage on, or do you just think it's going to be middle of the road?
With how this game goes, I'm thinking it's going to be very Turk favored just because they're on attack. This map isn't defense favored too much for me. So I'm hoping to see something come out of it. And look at those statistics on the vote. 71% to Turks. I might be right. I'm hoping that it can be an underdog story that shows us a good fight. But we're just going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, definitely. Going into the bans, however, the sense is going to come out from Panu. It's not particularly one that I know a lot of teams go for, but it's one that works. It's definitely going to work if, you know, Turks, if they're known to play Sens. I have no idea if they are known, but what I do know is that Blackbeard was menacing in game number 1 in Chalet, and he's menacing on this map as well. After that rework, I never want to see a Blackbeard in any map, no matter what map it is. But looking into the third ban, the Cade ban, it's going to be absolutely vital to get him off of the board. It's going to force defense to play mute and play bandit.
Ooh, I'm hoping to see some great bandit checking, but the Asami ban. That means Garage Hold's going to be a lot more painful to do. A lot of people bring the Dark now, but Asami's still my favorite for trying to hold that Garage if I have to ever solo key.
Yeah, you know, I'm a cheeky Doc player myself. I absolutely love holding that Garage with Doc. But these teams are going to have to be forced to play Doc now, right?
Yep, and seeing a Mirror, Mute, Goyo, Vigil, and Smoke coming out on defense, they're planning to just letting the wall get open, is what I can see.
Yep. Heading into round number 1 of Clubhouse, it will be Panda versus Turks. We are looking to see, is that a basement start we're getting?
Yes, it is. This is going to be beautiful to see. Seeing how they're trying their best to make sure that everything's closed. People are upstairs, they've got the Vigil, he's not hiding like I would see in my rank plays, but he's going to actually get the hatch. He's going to be the smart player. They're looking for upstairs, though. And the Mute's hiding upstairs. They know this. So they're going to have to clear top floor on the attack.
10 seconds to insertion.
But how well do they know about the Vigil is also a good point.
5 seconds to insertion.
Yeah, drones are going to be really useful, right? Because we're going to have to see these teams go from top to bottom. They're going to have to clear every single floor. And if they don't do that really quickly, it's going to be game over for Turks. It's all going to be about how quickly they can enter onto top floor, clear that out, and make their way progressively down. As we start off from number 1, the lineup from Turks. The Shield, Monte, is coming out to play. Hopefully the plant is going to go behind him, and it should be all good for Turks. Huaba taking a little bit of damage so far. He's not out entirely as he looks onto Strip Hallway.
The Ash is eyeing that oil pitch. He just wants to jump down immediately. But there's a Vigil in blue. Is the Ash going to try and help the Monty or just let the Monty get tagged? But then you've got the Goyo sneaking up behind everyone in kitchen. If he just peeks over his little head, hopefully he can run out and get the Habana, but that's not going to be the case. It looks like he's just going to try and hold it and surprise someone.
Yeah, just surprise. I think that's going to be the absolute element of this, right? Panu, they're going to have to catch Turks off guard because they look like they've kind of got everything, coming together. They do have the Montes taking a lot of damage, but he is still up nonetheless. And it is going to be absolutely crucial to keep him alive at late game to get that plant down. But the diffuser holder, Hibana taking a little bit of damage off the bat. It looks like Panu, they might just have that slight advantage in HP terms, but what Lambe has to deal with is this Montagne. Very little HP. That C4 is not going to explode quite yet. It's a 1v1 situation as the shield comes down and goes back up. And in the meantime, Turks have already lost one. They can't afford to lose this Monte, as he's just playing, he's toying with Lambe at the minute, and Ash looking to pinch from construction will take down the Mute, and now it's an equal game.
I've just noticed something as well. The Goyo actually shot that banner from the staircase the whole way from outside. It's a beautiful line of sight. But the last 4 are in sight now, except for the Goyo. They're going to have to drop the oil pit with the Ash. You've got 45 seconds.
Honestly, not a lot of time to really do anything if you are Turks, right? You just have to full send it. The Monte is still up, so it is going to be quite favourable if they go now, but they have to go. They have to just push everything. They don't have time to drone, they don't have time for comms, and it's just going to be an absolute bloodbath. All they have to do is sit and hold angles, and that's exactly what they're trying to do. Vigil onto blue, able to pick off the Monte. That shield drops, and ultimately, so the chances of Turks as well, as we look to get the pick up into kitchen. Not going to be able to get it for the time being. Goyo will have to sit in Arsenal room, but Turks, they're not able to do much here. They do have the man advantage, but they have to plant now. It's not possible, and Panu will take round number 1.
I feel like they just wasted a bit too much time on that. As you can see, they were like, all right, we're going to set up for this early, and then they just wasted so much time upstairs with the Mute, and then deciding to waste more time little by little, just trying to stretch it out. They should have went for the play a bit earlier, or make sure they could burn as much of the gadget utilities they had. Mute still had so many smokes left. There was still Mira had her C4.
Ultimately, it just wasn't good use, right? Yeah, it just wasn't good use of utility. So slow.
But that was only one round of defense, and it's on downstairs. That is one most people find struggle to attack. But now we've got the gym. With the frost as well. I'm getting PTSD flashbacks from yesterday's ranked game. I jumped into 4 of these things.
Yeah, Joe, if you're not looking at your feet, you're not gonna catch them and you're just gonna fall right into them, right? So many people don't give Frost and like Capcan the respect that they deserve. You need, when these players are on the field, you need to be looking out for them. You need to treat them with respect because you are gonna fall into their traps. Even the Legion as well. You're gonna step into the goo mine and it's not as menacing as the Frost Trap and the Capcan, but it still gives that audio cue, right? So you need to give these players, these trap operators, the respect that they deserve, and you need to be looking at your feet at all times. But with what you've told me, Turks are very aggressive, so if they plan to push for an aggressive rush here, maybe from construction, they're not going to be looking at their feet, I don't think.
No, and that's what my biggest concern is going to be, because there's 2 things I'm hoping not to see now. Now that I see that they've brought it, and how quickly they got into the building yesterday, or sorry, last match, I'm worried that this is going to be a repeat. Oh, that is not what you want to see. A spawn peek from Dokebi just patches out the Legion.
Camera ready to activate.
Oh, it's an equal game though, Turks. They lose one of their own, and that's gonna put Banu back in the swing of things. All they have to do is sit on site, right? I said this last game in Chalet, but you just need to sit site. See, the Valkyrie here trying to get a pick, but ultimately is gonna lose the majority of her health and is gonna have to resort upstairs. Sit on site, hold angles. Yes, it may be cringe. Yes, we don't want to do that, but ultimately that's what wins, right? You have to sit and hold angles, and you just have to play it safe. You don't need to be going for all these picks. You have an equal game.
Gonna say, now that they don't, there's no longer man advantage. Yes, there's an HP one, but the fact that they know where everyone is, they know how they're trying to push this, means that there's a lot of intention of how they can play this out. They got to think about it. They've got to be able to push. Utilities being wasted just on cash. They know it's not sight, but they don't know what they can and cannot run.
Oh, the frog coming out there just to get rid of the shield, and the frost that will get rid of one player as well. Gutter able to take out one, and Nikki able to get a triple kill this round. He's absolutely flying. The C4 is flying as well as it looks to catch out one of the Turkish players. Not going to find them quite yet, but this Valk is on so little HP. This Valk should not have their life right now, and the Capital will fire quite literally into the room, but will not catch Valk. Instead, the bullet of Ace will, and it's an equal game once again, and there's not a lot of time on the board.
It's a 2v2, but they don't know where they're playing, but they knew about the frost, but now Ace can finally go for the plant. Swing baiting his teammate, but hopefully, oh no, the frost gets picked up by the Capital.
Oh, brutal.
He just continues to type away on his magic keyboard.
Yeah, the plant just couldn't go down there. Like, I mean, fair enough. You had the shots. The plant, I don't think, was ever going to go down, right? You were just looking to get the shots off.
No, from what I could see, they had to either go for the gunfight or just had to let the plant happen. There was no way that they could think, all right, let's get the plant, let's kill the person. Mute didn't have a C4 anymore. Frost Trap could have got the ace if he wasn't paying attention, but he was. No one was prepared to swing and go for the kill, which just turned out to be their downfall in the end.
Yeah, definitely. Well, so we're heading to Cash and CC, and like we talked about earlier, Doc is gonna have to play Catwalk, and we're seeing a Doc. So Huava, we're expecting to just sit there.
I'm expecting a lot now, just because of the fact that they've already switched. They got rid of the Deimos. They brought, well, just looking at that makes my heart beat. I just watching half the team completely switch. Yes, I'm happy to see a Glaz. Yes, I'm happy to see a Grim. Not happy to see the Maverick though, but it makes complete sense. Switch the Deimos for the Maverick. Worry about getting that wall open, or just using Glaz to have peek holes so I can just, you know, take little pot shots.
Yeah, exactly. That Glaz is going to be crucial to this push. It's going to ultimately go onto the balcony wall, right? This Glaz is going to have to sit and just watch that plant go down from the Capitao. There's plenty of smokes on the board as well. So ultimately, Turks, if they're able to get opening picks and if they're able to get the man advantage, this should be rammed over for them. There's not an awful lot of utility on the side of Panu that can alter their plan, right? They do have the Doc, which can, yes, pick up a player if they are down, but ultimately there's not much in the way of Turks.
No, but now that we got to see the Capitao come out, the walls, is that even reinforced? Or is that just been perfectly opened by Maverick and one gas canister? Beautiful. But now we've got we've got 2 people off site. They know wall's getting breached. So how do they have to play this now? Is the question you should ask.
Yeah, exactly. That wall is open, and now they just have to rotate back around because that wall is going to be an absolute horrible spot to peek. You don't want to peek that. There's a Glaz on the board. You have to give him the respect that he deserves. All of these roamers will have to now rush back to site, but not in the line of sight of that wall, ultimately. Doc is going to heal himself up ever so slightly, give Panu that HP advantage over Turks, and now Turks, they're formulating their plan. They're trying to get onto site, starting from bottom floor, and this site of Glaz tries to find Val, will not find her, but instead Huava will find Glaz. Nikki will pick up one of his own as well, and Panu, they're sitting comfortably.
Just holding angles while the Doc's got the cross. Hopefully be able to get him. Oh, shot from above by the Frost though. Just the Capitao outside, stuck on Garage. He knows where the Doc is, but has to try and get the angle. Hopefully gets the foul. Beautiful trade. And then there's the Jaeger to hopefully clean up the Maverick. As it's like reading a storybook right now. It's one by one, just falling at the last second.
Yeah, it is literally like a story, but this is textbook Siege, right? You had that wall open. That wall, as soon as it's open, puts so much pressure on the defenders because you can't go into that site. You cannot walk into CCTV without compromising, you know, just your life, essentially. There could be someone watching, and then a Glaz on the board as well further settles the nerves of any defender looking to walk through there. So nicely done by Panu for even being able to win that one out in the first place. They were just able to win their gunfights, and that's ultimately all that it comes down to as we head back to basement.
So the fact that we know Turks was 1-1, but how do they play the basement this time? Because they know that these guys like to roam heavy. They know that they like to be pushed out. They don't actually like to have that many people in sight until the last 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm. How did they play it? That's ultimately it, right? Turks, we need to see something from them. We need to see verticality, and that's what Ram is going to do. Right, the Monty, he is back once again because we need him late game to get that plant down. Ultimately, if you can get the plant down in front of dirt, and you can just set the shield there, you should be fine, right? You should be able to give some very comms to your team. You just need to keep him alive, and ultimately he fell in blue the last time that we were at basement. Let's hope that he stays alive a little bit longer this time.
Completely agree. Though, seeing the fact that we have the Vigil coming out with just hiding, knowing where they're going to try and push from, he can easily get a really nice surprise in these guys. But the fact that they know he's there as well with the drone, they're just going to have to fight for his life on that red staircase. Well, the Monty chooses to either walk up or walk down the staircase. It's up to them. Oh,
yeah,
waste of a drone.
Up to him. Yeah, waste of drones. Honestly, the Monty is just so menacing. Right, as he walks up the stairs, the Boss G will pick off Hibana, and he tries to pick off Monty as well, which he will do. Oh my, Nipsu. A 3k comes up from him. The Ash is gone. The Monty's gone even quicker than last time we were on basement. Hibana, the first to fall. Absolutely nothing in terms of utility as well, as Bidolf will fall. The Ram, the 0 and 3. That stands. This Ram, then Ram number 4, as he looks onto construction, he can't find anyone. And what a clean round from Panu. The Boss G was just incredible work there.
The timeout from Turks is very, very useful here. It's going to be needed. That was painful to see, just getting dispatched bit by bit. It wasn't like, how would I put this? It wasn't their intention. but it felt like they were playing like paid actors, as people call it here in Britain. It felt like paid actors being brought out one by one. Oh, that hurt to see, but I understand it wasn't intentional, and I understand that it can't just be Siege timing working at its best. That time it was in Vigil's favor.
Yeah. Did you like? Oh, that was just such like that's got to be a gut wrenching round, right? You never want to lose a round, but you don't want to lose it that badly, right? Everything just went wrong. I mean, you did have Nipsu absolutely pop off that round. If he did not get that first triple kill, then like you would have been fine. You could have had maybe one player fall there, and you could have picked yourself back up. But the triple kill from Vigil was absolutely like cinema. That was good Siege. That's what we like to see. Panu, they sit comfortably in the lead 3-1, but Turks, they're not out just yet. They still have plenty of rounds to get back in the swing of things. They do have one round under their belt, so they know that they can win against this team. They just need to formulate themselves a little more.
I think it's going to be hopefully their defense works out better for this. Seeing as how they're playing it now, they're still thinking that their brains are loading in. It's still a warm-up game for them. They're just preparing. Oh, it's a defensive favored map. We'll win later. It's fine. But the drone economy, as I can see, is not going well for them. Oh no, that is not what you want to see as drone economy already.
Oh no is just kind of what sums up this entire game in the perspective of Turks. They're not able to capitalize on anything. They have really good plans, and we see their plans come together at the start, but immediately they're just gone by like a minute, maybe even a minute and a half, and if we're lucky, the plan just gets absolutely shattered by Anu. They have the gun fights just on lock, and now we look to see if Turks can bring another of their own to get that little bit closer to an equal game as we head into round number 5.
Loading new mag. Ready to kill them.
I'm a wee bit worried though. From what I can see, we have the scope bus on the garage, but he's also got one back into sight. So he's not going to be checking cams, not going to be worrying about it. They're just going to try and hold the angles. With a Grim upstairs holding the long one, if anything, I would have dropped down and used that hole that's there and tried to kill the Grim from garage. But that would have been dangerous in the first place as well with the Capita holding the windows. They're not trying to go for the obvious play of open the wall and push. At the moment, they're just trying to clear as much as they can, which again, is wasting a lot of time.
Yeah, a lot of time definitely has been wasted, but finally Turks, they're able to get their man advantage with the Capital onto Catwalk, able to force Huava to stand up and take the gunfight, and that's what they need to do. They need to utilize their abilities a little bit better, and they need to win their gunfight, and they have not only the man advantage, but the HP as well. Raston took a lot of damage there. The Legion is going to be on a slither of health. It's not going to be good for Panu as they look to maybe lose their second round this series, as he has to force his way through construction. He's going to be picked off by none other than Grim. Turks, they're in the swing of things. They're picking off one by one. Double kill comes out from Grim.
There's your triple kill coming out from Grim. With Warden being the last one standing, Grim's gonna try and hunt him down quickly enough. Hopefully get the nice pick. Oh, the long angle, but Ace gets the pick instead.
Oh, what a round! Incredible stuff done from... Oh, I mean, that was just absolutely beautiful, right? The Grim double kill and then turned into the triple. Beauty, absolutely beautiful done. Both these teams have now just shown that they have star players, right? They have players that can get these triple kills, these double kills that are ultimately they're game changing. If you don't, like, if you're versing a team and you get triple kill immediately, you are forced to do something. You're forced to rethink your plan because your utility isn't there. Your men are not there to face the gunfights they need to. You're not going to be able to isolate fights easy. It's honestly like if you can come back from being triple killed, it's amazing. It's astonishing. But so many teams they're not able to do it.
This team has just shown what they can. Looking at how their mentality has come back already, just from that one round of alright. We messed up. We were trying to hunt down people walking into the left side. They were playing checkers. Now they're playing chess. That's the best way of putting it. Having the Grim play on the windows, not just for picks, but to be there to watch the rotates.
Yep. Well, we're back, Cash CC, right? What do you expect to see from this?
So as we've got the dock on garage again,
5 seconds
beautiful
left.
things. I'm not expecting spawn peaks or anything like that this time. I'm hopefully
Attackers'
expecting
objective is to locate a
them
bomb
to
and
try and hold the wall. Whether it just peek through the hole and kill the Maverick, risk somebody else's life, go for the trade, or it looks like we're gonna have a Legion jump out. This is how he died last time. Yes, but it doesn't matter. Heavy was not there to save it this time. He gets 2 lovely picks already. That's the man advantage getting pulled out. And the Valkyrie through the garage wall. Just getting Striker, knowing where Capitao is. They were not going to let them come back. They had that mind reset for 1 round. But it's just not there to remind their team to watch out for spawn peaks.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? You said that Panu, they need to focus on making sure that wall is not open, and what better way than to just run out storage? Yes, it's very high risk, high reward, but it worked in their favor. 3 players from Turks are no longer here. That's a lot of utility that is gone. The Maverick is not going to be able to open that wall. You've secured safety of the wall, and you can sit comfortably, rotate back to site, because Capitao and Glazev have a lot of work cut out for them. They don't really have the utility. Yes, the Capitao has the smokes, but you're not going to be able to really do anything unless Glaz is right behind you, and they can't afford to have that overlapping positioning, right? They need to pinch these fights, essentially. They need to isolate fights, but Panu, they won't let that happen as we get a flawless round. Ava picks off one last player from Catwalk, and it's ultimately just an absolute landslide for Panu at the minute.
It was just a beautiful round of how to execute a defense, but risking it all for a run out like that was what caught them off the last time Turks won the round. So their Kevy wasn't there to save them, as I had said, but getting off both of their hard breaches, just the fact that Striker has it and having the fact that they removed Maverick off the board. Now it's time for Ace. I'm hoping this is where Turks have learned to play defensively now, because it's their defense. Let's hopefully there's no flawless on their side, because this 4-2 could just end up being the nail in the coffin, let's say.
Yeah, 100%. We're back to basement, though. That could be where Turks, they finally, you know, they're on defense now, so finally they have their time to shine. Are they going to be able to put up the same performance that Panu have on defense? 4-2, it's a very favorable half for Panu, but they are on attack, and it is so much easier, in my opinion, to defend, and Panu have shown that it's easier to defend, so they need to show if their attack is just as good as their defense. Having a look at their lineup, they look to be playing very aggressive. I mean, look at the Ram there for verticality. They have the hard breach as well. This is going to be ugly.
It's a very interesting hold, having the church hatch open, but then also just having everyone spread out quite wildly on the map. It's kind of surprising. Ooh, a couple more seconds could have got a really early pick.
Oh yeah, the early picks, they've just been so brittle, right? And it's all going to be about what team can get the first. As Vigil, he's not able to land a shot on to Ram, but it doesn't matter. Is Nikki able to take down Castle? That's going to be horrible for Turks for the time being. Vigil, he needs to equalize. He needs to be landing the shots. I get the Boss G is very temperamental. You have to have amazing reaction times. But you had like so long to fire that bullet. You need to be hitting these shots, but Ram will be taken down to a little bit of HP, so at least there's something, right? There's something for the side of Turks for the time being, but they just need to hold on.
There's only one person in sight, so if they just drop the hash and rush mute, this could be really dangerous for all teams involved. But lucky for them, oh no, actually, unlucky for them, I called the future. They just rushed straight into sight and taking the hold. They're going to go for the plant and have the Grims down the watch.
Yeah, oh, it's a 4 versus 2. Panu, they're able to just absolute cinema. But wait, no, Shoxel, he has something to say about it. It's a 2 versus 1. It's not entirely over until Rastin puts the final bullet. He puts the final nail in the coffin, and what a hold from Tunnel there just to stop him from pushing into blue. And what a round we just had. Everything just came tumbling at once. Panu 5-2, crazy.
That's what I was hoping Turks wouldn't do. They wouldn't play aggressively, but instead of just trying to hold sight and maybe adjacent, They forgot one of the most important rules of Siege and decided to hold the entire building, not just having shallow roaming. The whole team was
Defenders,
gone.
protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Yeah, ouch indeed. That's honestly the only way that we can describe it, right? We're back into Bedroom. Let's talk a little bit about Bedroom, right? Because it's probably one of the most well-known sites, right? You have so many ways that you can attack this. Personally, if I have control of construction, I feel that I am set. I need to push through, like, CC, cash, clear catwalk, push through CC and cash, get hold of construction, and then that way you can pick off anyone
Attackers
in
have discovered
office.
the
You can
location
stop
of the bomb.
anyone coming
10
from
seconds
Bedroom
left.
behind you. Ultimately, construction, I think, is where this game changes. If you have control of that, you should be good to go. But Turks, I don't know if they're ready to hold it from such an aggressive team like Panu.
From how we've seen this, I have a feeling that hopefully they've learned their lesson now. Again, I'm not judging it, so I'm hoping that they're going to be prepared. Jumping outside isn't going to be forte from what we've seen. It's, yes, spawn kills are getting prepared early kills, but as we know, somebody's now on the ceiling, Striker. Mute's downstairs in the logistics office trying to play the shotgun, so they know what's the plays, but there's another one.
Loading new magazine.
Ava, oh, the early pick is going to put Panu back in the swing of things. Turks are not able to do anything against these early picks. They're losing men so quickly. And with the way that Turks are playing, you can't afford to be going for the high risk, high reward. Yes, Selm has eventually, equaled the playing field, but you've lost the man at the start, you've lost a lot of your HP. Was it really worth it? You can't afford to be playing these high risk, high reward situations. When you're 5-2 down, right, you need to just be sitting on site. You maybe, yeah, okay, you can have one roamer that's able to surprise Panu eventually, but don't go for the early picks if you're not going to be able to win your gunfight.
I don't even think it's about winning gunfights at this moment. It's about playing the safer angles. There need to be... Yes, they can either get the aggression in or take the time to do it. Because at the moment, as you can see, Salem's still half, but he's still in logistics. There's two of them now, including Benmir. But half of the defenders are still trying to decide how they want to attack this. He's walking into pre-placed bandits as well.
Attackers drop the diffuser. Attackers
Yeah,
recover the
honestly,
bomb.
it's just an absolute masterclass from Panu at the minute. Even though it is still 4 versus 4, they have so much control that you can see that this team is getting ready just to pounce, right? You can see that they're playing the safe angles like you mentioned, and Turks don't really have much to counter. All of these players that are sitting on balcony could just jump in at the minute, and I don't think Turks are ready for that. They've got players downstairs, and they don't need to be downstairs as Raston pushes into construction, holding that angle from office. He knows that there's going to be a player in there that can just come and stab him in the back if he does not take him out. Nifsu looking to hopefully get the pick onto the player that was in office, as well as the plant is trying to make its way down from Havwa as he gets a double kill, looks for another, isn't even gonna need it, then Goyo is gonna somehow finish off Guturo, and again, they're just formulating everything so much better at the minute.
The best way to say it is reading an open book. From how they've been playing it, they don't really have the choice now of defense or attack. It's know what you're playing is, know what what the overall strategy is. They're deciding now to go downstairs. This should be something they should win on a hold, but it could come too late as a 6-2 with a Rooney, Smoke, Castle, Mutant, Legion. This is the nice play field because this is slowing down the game hard with the Castle. But
Attackers
I'm
need
worried
to
they're going to do the
locate
same
and
thing they did
defuse
last round where
bombs.
4 people were upstairs and only 1 guy was on site.
Yeah, do you know what? The positioning from Turks has just been so poor at the minute. They're not able to deal with anything that Panu throw their way. And we're back to basement yet again, but Turks, they haven't really shown that they can defend basement. They're bringing out the necessary operators, they have the smoke for late game to stop the plan. They have Castle as well, just to barricade any doors from tunnel maybe. They have the mute, they have the Legion. Things should be going right for them when they're bringing lineups like this.
5
Hopefully,
seconds to go.
they are able to do something here, because if not, Panu, they've ran away with a
Attackers' objective is to
7-2.
locate a bomb
Please,
and defuse
Turks,
it.
just please sit on site. You can't afford
Oh,
to play the
no.
high risk, high reward. Guturo. Are you gonna... Okay, he's not going to. He's not gonna peek kitchen
No,
window.
that's not what I was
Oh.
worried about. You're about to see yourself in a second. How these guys have played it. They're still planning on holding second floor and first as well. They're not planning on just being in sight. There's only one man inside again. It is Mute again.
Oh no, not the one inside Mute. No, all this game is gonna rely on this Mute on site because Panu, they have shown that they're able to isolate fights. And if you're essentially giving these fights for free when you're not playing near site at this point, you can't afford to be second floor. It's too high risk, high reward. You're not winning your gunfights, you're not playing the safe angles, and Panu, they are capitalizing. The drones coming out, they're giving so much information to the side of Panu, and when they're winning the gunfights so beautifully, all that information is gonna be coming through their brain at the minute. They're going to be using that to their advantage. So one player is going to drop down as well from Turks. That's probably one of the smartest plays I've seen from them yet. They're finally realizing, right, we can't stay here. Let's go back to something.
But all of that time that was needed to be wasted has only come out to minutes. Just looking at this, castle already dropped early. There's no one fighting. It's now a 5v5 versus them inside, which is much better than last round. But now they've got top floor control completely. There is no roamer upstairs. There's nothing to flank, but not just walks straight in the kitchen. Gets the pick on the castle. Hopefully fights and gets the arena as well.
Oh, Lava able to pick up two. Shoxo will fight back with one of his own, but ultimately, Turks, they're not in a good spot as they lose. It's a 4 versus 1. Like I said, the game is going to come down to the Mute on site. It's come down to him, and he's not able to close out. Raston puts the nail in the coffin for the side of Turks. They're not going to be able to be victorious in this one. Panu, absolute cinema from them, 7-2 on Clubhouse, and Panu, they had a 25% prediction. Everyone thought Turks were going to be victorious, and they weren't.
Just looking at that statistic should tell you everything you should know. That was just, we know this map better, we have our strats to attack it, and we're going to execute them how we want to. They controlled it. The knock layout of that match, like just the ending screen, showed exactly what it was. That was a masterclass. This was the Royals you're playing here.
Oh, yeah, what a game from the side of Panu. Turks, they couldn't do anything. They were bringing the right operators, right? They had utility for most cases. They just weren't able to use it correctly. They weren't able to utilize it. They were losing a lot, and I mean a lot of early picks. They had so many disadvantages.
I wouldn't say it's disadvantage. I think it was they took them to the wrong map. They agreed to take them there. That was their mistake. They probably should have banned Clubhouse for the next team that plays against them. Ban it immediately without hesitation.
Yeah, just get it going off the board.
No, you'd be better at something at Nighthaven, something where your big open roam strategies of holding from above is a better strat. But they tried to overextend. That wasn't their fault. That just came out from the fact of they don't know how to challenge these weird ways of thinking these guys have. Because bringing in the knock, you should be listening for that silent drop if you've seen him on cameras. But if you don't know who the fifth operator is, always bring your break brain. Think about ahead of it. They love bringing Frost. Of course, they're going to be a little bit cheeky and bring knock.
Yeah, you just got to think ahead, right? You can't just think in the moment. You need to be thinking about what they're going to bring. How are you going to counter that? And they just weren't. Panu, they were bringing everything. They brought the gunfights. They brought the individual plays. They brought the strategies that ended up working.
I've got to say, though, this is only Group B, correct?
This is Group C, is it? No, Group B. Group C was the last game, yep.
This is Group B, the group of death, as the production as God's just told me in my ears. This is where the pain comes, because from what we've seen, Turks did so well against Bon Voyage, and then now we have this. It's not being gentle at all. So,
yeah, well,
this is pain.
It was a pain. It was painful indeed. But let's have a little look of the standings, because that's what is important, essentially, right? The standings. Let's have a little look at those at the minute. Panu, we saw they were sitting comfortably this game, and they sit comfortably in second on the standing board. Turks will slot underneath.
So from the top, you've got Psychopatas, Panu, Turks, Bon Voyage, and Soon. But some of these teams have only played, let's say, 2 games, and then Turks have not played 3. So I'm hoping that just because of how this was played out, there's another couple matches we get to see on the horizon show up where they can earn their points and hopefully make it up to first again.
Yep. Well, it's just gonna take time to find that out, isn't it? It's honestly, after tonight, if you are in the side of Turks, don't get too overwhelmed. Don't take this loss too hard because there was promising moments. We did see some promising moments, even though it was a 7-2. The scoreboard does not show them justice. They definitely had the individual plays at some times, but you can easily bounce back from it.
From what we've seen, we know they're a good team. They have the brains there, they have the skill. I think it was just because it was the day off. They were just thinking, oh, we can walk about a little bit. We've got a couple wins under our belt. We're tired. Just save strats for the next time. We take the old G2 answer of everything, saving strats for the finals.
Yeah. Oh, don't even remind me of G2. Oh, we're just gonna compare Turks to G2 this entire time. But it's been great having you to cast.
been
We had
lovely
Purple Bob
talking
the
to you.
first game. We had Star Drago now, and you've been stuck with me all night. But you can catch us, I believe, next Monday for day 2 of the division groups, and you're gonna want to see that. We've seen some great games today. We're gonna get even better games on Monday, so please stay tuned. Thank you, production, W production. It's been great, and yeah, stay tuned, and I'll catch you Monday.
I must have went blind tonight, cause I swear that you out of sight. Man, I'm so up, I could be a pilot, and I just hope trying to catch a flight. So let me get the digits. I call right now if you with it. I seen 1,000 pretty girls in this room. $1 and I've been looking for you. I've been searching, it's so hard to find a girl who's one of a kind. Just being alone just isn't cool. I'll take 1,000 trips around the world just so I could find you, girl. Cause darling, I've been looking for you. Yeah, I'm looking for you.